Good morning, Your Honor. May I approach the bench? I don't give a damn what anyone thinks. I stay up all night and I smoke and I drink. I'm a wanted man and I'm blowing town. Don't waste your time trying to hunt me down. The cops are saying I belong behind bars, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty as charged.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Guilty as Charged, the Night Stalker Kolchak retrospective. Tonight, episode 11 of the series, Horror in the Heights, also known as Gill. Is it? Oh, wow. It's called passing the baton, Gill. The rock
I don't know what the alternate title
man.
is.
Oh,
I didn't know it had an alternate title.
Lord.
I told you I've never watched this series. I don't do any research on the series so that I can give an impartial view. You've got one book. I'm starting to think there's like 5 pages in this fucking book because you ran out of facts in episode 1.
We ran through all the facts of all the movies and all that stuff. Instead of saving it throughout the series, we threw it all out in the first 2 movies. So there you go.
Yeah, but some people won't see another episode. So
right, yeah, we didn't know. We really didn't think anybody would listen. So anyway, X is back with us again because he had so much fun the last few times. He just wanted to come back again.
I did.
So I think now he's like officially part of the show. So we might have to change our name to Gill XT or something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, the original air date was December 20th, 1974, and there is a cornucopia of guest stars in this show. Mr. Phil Silvers is in this. Barry Gordon, who nobody knows who he is, but when you see his face, you'll be like, hey, I know that guy. And Ned Glass, I think he is
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Isn't he the, what's his name from the Love Boat, the bartender? From the Love Boat? I think that might be him, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm probably...
Ted
I
Lang?
don't know, I'm not a pensioner.
Ted Lang. No, I guess he's not Ned Glass. Anyway, let's start this sucker for our benefit. 3, 2, 1, and go. The wonderful Universal opening.
Well, yeah, you know, it's rare when you see the star of the show do the theme to their own show. It's nice.
Right?
Yeah, but I also forgot that you don't have the Universal logo at the start of yours.
Oh, I don't.
No.
It's wonderful when you see the star of the show open the show with his whistle.
Yeah, we're 22 seconds behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, bloody hell. All right.
It's all right. It'll be caught up anyway. All right. So here we are. Another wonderful episode of The Night Stalker. This might be one of the finest episodes in there. We'll let you know at the end. Right?
I'll tell him at the start. It is so far.
It's the best episode in my opinion.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What no? That means it's all downhill from here.
Well, no, there's still some good episodes, but I believe this is the finest.
But will it be our finest episode?
Oh, I'm sure it's not. We reached our peak with episode 1. With all the fun facts.
Yep, episode 1 got a comment, didn't it?
Oh yeah, you're right. It did, didn't it?
But there's these
All right, we had a
long shots of
we had a
Chicago.
message by Mr. K.R. Joy. Well, I'm assuming it's a Mr. I don't know. It could be a girl, but he or she writes, Kolchak, The Night Stalker is one of the greatest, most highly rated sci-fi horror series to hit TV. I was really looking forward to a serious, dedicated podcast to pay homage to Darren McGavin in the series. This is like a very sad rerun of Mystery Science Theater 3000. However, there's still time to change. So I thought about it, and I replied to him, and I wrote, "Hi there, thanks for listening to our show and leaving a review. I'm sorry you didn't care for our show, but I must say it does come from a place of love for me. We have fun and joke around, yes, but we also try to infuse facts about the show / movies as we have fun watching along. If you have any suggestions, please send them our way. And later in the show, we will send some more feedback that he gave us.
He or
Or
she.
she, yes. I'm assuming it's a male though. Oh, there we go. There's Mr. Phil
And
Silvers.
there's the legend.
Okay, here's my first thing about this episode. Why would a bunch of Jewish men meet upstairs at a place where the lower floor was completely overrun by rats eating pork?
Because they had to go there because the security guard let them in and play there.
Why is he a security guard
They're
if
hiding
he's
from their wives.
Well,
trying
he's a
to
security
keep
guard there
kosher?
to make some money.
But if he's trying to keep kosher, he's in the wrong business because he's guarding pork bones.
They're arguing over $2 wine.
Also, note that this episode was originally aired 5 days before Christmas.
Nice. Festive show then.
Yeah, right?
Oh, here's my favorite line. Well,
Yeah. Take this job and shove it. So here we go. The episode had to stay. Right.
you said anti
This entire reputation on one episode, this outing would be it. They never topped Horror in the Heights, a title that refers to the neighborhood Roosevelt Heights. And I agree with that. This really is the peak of the show. And it was also...
I just
What?
What?
We gotta work on that.
I just thought this was a really. It's got a lot of heart. This episode. I think that Carl's kind of. He's shown to be quite a kind of everyman.
Yeah.
You know, he's. Oh, I hate to say it, but he's quite liberal, isn't he? He is. He stands up for everyone.
Yeah. This episode
Yes.
too is it kind of shows the monster a lot in this episode, a lot more than any of the other ones. I think that might add to it being, a better episode too.
I think it has the best monster so far.
Yeah. So it was written by a man named
Vampires and
by a man named Jimmy Sangster. He also wrote The
shit.
Curse of Frankenstein, Blood of the Vampire, Horror of Dracula. He wrote The Mummy, 1959. He wrote The Brides of Dracula and Maniac. He's a Hammer graduate, so he was an ideal Kolchak contributor.
So he was an
Oh,
anti-Semite.
Hammer's awesome.
Yeah. That's right, Bill.
Those Hammer films are awesome. Like Blood of Dracula and everything. They're great films. Christopher Lee
Amazing.
was, when I was growing up, he was my Dracula. Because I hadn't seen Lugosi yet. So,
Yeah.
Is it your own personal Dracula?
yep. He used to come around my house and bite me.
He's his own personal Jesus. Go ahead, play the song now.
I even give you cues and you don't pick them up. What the hell?
I know, right? He's not very good at picking up the baton.
I don't have every single MP3 in the world ready.
I'm sorry, but I don't understand yet. Greed for happiness, don't you understand? What happened? Old guy croaked.
See, oh, he's so nice in this episode.
Expect to escape old age. Okay, an old
I
guy
want Kolchak to be my grandfather.
pass on how? No, it was old age, boredom.
Oh, all right. See, this is that one of the guys that was playing poker
Who are you?
in.
I wouldn't if I were you.
He's the guy who's Ned Glass, so it's not the guy I was thinking of. That same character also was in the Spanish Moss Murders as an apartment superintendent. Kolchak got some information on him by telling him he works for the health department. So when Starman mentions the health department, Joe thinks he recognizes Kolchak. He used to work for the health department, he asks. Kolchak tells him that was his brother.
Could have saved that for like another 30 seconds when that happens.
Yeah, I guess I could have.
I really liked him.
Here's that scene that Newty was just spoiling.
Oh, shut up.
Any of you gentlemen here know the deceased? Sure, I know.
Buck Feynman.
What was his name?
What was his what was his brother's
Buck
name?
Feynman sounds like a
Remember?
porn
What was his
star.
brother's name from the zombie episode? What did he say his brother name was?
Hey, you a reporter?
Oh, I don't remember.
Was it Sidney Kolchak?
And how about reporting, for instance, how come the health department don't get their cans down here and clean
Might have
off
been.
the rats?
I'm just really happy looking at Phil Silvers again. I used to love watching Phil Silvers' show when I was a kid.
Health department.
There you go. Did I just referenced?
Me? Yeah. No, that was my brother. No, he was in charge of printing up quarantine.
Oh, somebody's vaping.
Damn it! Weren't supposed to hear that.
Rats, sir. I mean, you should see the one I work for. Talking about rats.
Yeah. Sid Feynman.
Well,
There's a star man leaning on that thing.
There's a star man waiting in the sky.
Wow. We've become that show. We went from a serious Kolchak show to a show that plays video clips throughout the show.
No, don't worry. There's no more. I'm not doing that again during this episode.
Alright, so our buddy
But
Mr. K.R. Joy, he has come back for more. He talks to us about our Ripper episode, and he says, better job with this episode, guys. Good backstory with the production info and McGavin's struggles. You stayed on track with the video on one of the weaker episodes. Looking forward to the next show. So, thank him for his great feedback. We're glad we're winning him one episode at a time, Gill.
I like the fact that someone watched the first
Yeah,
episode,
me too.
didn't like it, but then went, "Oh, watch it again."
Me too.
Because even though they said Mystery Science Theater 3000, I've never seen it. I've never seen a single episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Well, it's basically
I don't like
idiots that sit down and talk and make jokes over a show or a movie.
Really? Oh well.
So we kind of are like it.
Just making the death of Julius Feynman, age 72.
Well,
We don't want to imply that we're
also I quite liked, even though
malfeasance or anything.
that I did interrupt that there with Starman. I interrupted it with the Dewey Cox version of Starman.
I noticed that.
Yep.
Or is that too rough? Maybe we can just pelt him with some wet biscuits.
Newty's gone all silent because he doesn't like to talk about
Give it
Dewey
to us.
Cox and X and I do.
I told you I want Dewey vagina, not Dewey cocks.
No.
He's just signing. Well, you won't be any.
It's never bothered me.
See, sometimes you can take an innuendo so far that it just becomes crass and
Yeah.
unfunny.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I've learned that. Learned that working with you lately.
Henry and Saint Teresa all stuffed into one
Oh, boy.
big pinstripes.
Oh shit.
Send up a corned beef sandwich, Lee, and a bottle of cream soda.
Fresh pickles. I love the idea of fresh pickles. It's like
That's just cute.
he doesn't understand that pickles are not fresh.
You're working late tonight, Miss Emma.
Bring us some more wine. This one's too old.
You don't want that.
Just Ribena.
All those women hanging around him. I should have such a problem. What are you going to tell him?
Well, I hoped you'd come up with a
Oh, Miss Emily.
She is adorable.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell him to get his doctor.
And saucy in this particular episode.
Hormone treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him
It's through kind of an activist phase.
She's very salty.
She's one of the Silver Panthers.
I'll let you in on
She's a little salty.
She's
I just
all out to burn her bra,
what I really
which may take some time.
I've written a novel, a detective novel.
Listen to him being so
Well, good for you.
condescending to her. Oh, good for you.
Experience of life. I was becoming insulated in that little place of mine. And
But this episode slips in lots of commentary about senior citizens and anti-Semitism, urban renewal, and trust in cynical items.
For a professional writer.
I think that's what I really liked about it.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It's like it was an episode that seemed like the person that wrote this had an idea for how can I stick a bunch of things that people don't talk enough about
Right.
into an episode of a show where these things just should probably never appear based on most people's thoughts of these sorts of shows.
Okay, I don't know where you all are at in the show, but have you all met the Goldsteins yet? Have they
They
showed
just
up?
left the movie theater. Yeah.
Okay, cool. One of my things that I like to do is I like to look at the marquees in old movies and see what was playing. You can see The Fever was playing in there, and that's an actual film, and it was a porn.
Was it really?
Yep.
It says rated R on the thing.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah,
And they walked
then
out of
they're-
it.
Yeah, and they're mad because everybody took off their clothes. Yeah, that was rated X.
Is that where you got your name from?
Oh, I wish. That would have been fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've seen some of the stuff you recently reviewed.
Oh, that was...
What did you recently review? I must have missed that.
God, I reviewed The Farmer's Daughters
Yeah.
from 1976. Yeah, it's seriously like an old grindhouse roughie with, of all people, fucking Spalding Gray is in this movie banging the shit out of chicks. I guess it's like swimming to Cambodia. I'm not sure.
You see, I like the fact that they have a clue on that swastika there.
Yeah.
There's a very clear clue to anybody that knows about, you know,
About swastikas?
Hinduism and stuff. Well, yeah, well, also about swastikas, because obviously the swastika is based on the old Hindu symbol, but the swastika goes clockwise, whereas the Hindu symbol went anti-clockwise, and that swastika that we just saw painted in that window there was anti-clockwise. So it was same with that one on the wall there. The only problem is, I think that they just occasionally said to people, just put some swastikas on the wall, and forgot to tell them to make them. See, because the one just behind them there does not follow, it goes clockwise, therefore that is a swastika.
Right.
Well, and at some
Most
point, I
people
think
wouldn't know that. I don't think.
Yeah, because at some point they bought a stencil too, because there's more and more swastikas all over the place.
Who needs a stencil for a swastika?
I
Oh,
can't
shit,
draw
I
one,
don't-
dude. I tried to draw one, and it just looks like a fucked up Y.
He
I
can draw stick
I can't do
figures
that
up.
whole left-right thing for some reason.
Is it not just an X with flair?
No,
You
no,
know-
it is
well,
not that.
Never know why you're saying that, but it really is. It is just an X with flair.
I think it's kind of weird that they both saw the same person, though.
Yeah, they both.
Right.
Well, I think they both thought it was Ernest Borgnine.
Like,
But was it not maybe the first person that saw the person said who it was before the other person saw them, and therefore the expectation of seeing that person would be there, and that's
It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
I
That's
don't know.
why
I
they
don't
see
know if
them.
it works like that, because there's later on they see two different people.
I say more or less because that's somewhat.
So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
two
Like,
cops
didn't
later
went
on
to
see two different people. So I don't think it works that way. Then they start arguing with each other. Like, what are you talking about? I don't think it works that
yeah,
way.
that's because they both saw, the two cops saw the creature independently of each other, whereas I think I would need to rewind it and check, but I can't really do that here. But I think the two of them were so busy having their wee cozy chat and looking lovingly at each other that she'd already said who it was that she saw before he turns round. So if she says who she's seen, then that's clearly going to be who
I
he
think
sees.
you're giving way too much credit. They didn't have the budget to show two different people, so they didn't.
So it
But
was
you're
even-
giving a good reasoning there, though. So I'll give you that.
Yeah. You know the thing I've never understood about Phil Silvers?
Identify yourself.
Why he changed his name?
What was his name?
Come on, Mr. Starlin. Let's have
Silver?
He added an S.
Yeah, he added an
Sounds
S.
better.
There was probably another Phil Silver in the acting guild. So
So it would be like when Michael Douglas changed his name to Michael Keaton in tribute to Diane Keaton because there was already a Michael Douglas.
Did that really happen?
Hindu Nazis.
Yeah, Michael Keaton from Batman. His birth name is Michael Douglas.
I did not know that.
Yep.
And Diane Keaton's real birth name is Warren Beatty.
How do you know?
He moved in here a couple of months ago, just after the rats chewed up old Mrs.
I love the fact that yesterday on Facebook it trended that Carly Simon said the second verse of You're So Vain is about Warren Beatty.
Just the second
It's
verse.
like,
Just the second.
there's news that I didn't need to know.
Yeah, well, you got a point there.
If you're not going to say who all the verses are about, I really don't give a fuck. Because when everybody says, do you know who You're So Vain's about? Everyone says, oh yeah, it's Warren Beatty.
See, I'd heard earlier that I think the first verse is about Mick Jagger.
Let's go see.
And then the second verse is about Warren Beatty, and the third verse is about Robert Evans.
Yeah, but to say the myth is true is like sitting in a room on your own and then turning to a mirror and saying, yes, it was me that farted.
Okay. So, that dude that was just killed with his wife, his name is Herb Vigran. He's played everything on TV from Gangsters to Judges in the Jack Benny Show, I Love Lucy, and Gunsmoke. He was also the restaurant owner Novello in White Christmas. And, of course, he seemed to be a crook every other week on The Adventures of Superman. Although he only appeared in 6 episodes of Superman.
You kidding? I can barely climb a
But there was only 12 episodes, so every other week it was him.
Yeah, right?
You notice that all the yellow swastikas there are wrong.
Yeah, so whoever did yellow was wrong. Well, that was right.
Oh, there's one there's a couple
Sorry.
correct ones there now. Yep.
Maybe you turned the stencil.
I can't remember what the Hindu symbol's called. X might, because I know he's quite smart on these things.
Yeah.
Can you remember?
I'm trying to think of it right now. All I can think of like the Crooked Cross or something, but I think that's more German. Tell you what, it's a shame I don't have
The Crooked Cross was the German bastardization, wasn't
it's
it?
a shame I don't have a repository of knowledge right here at my fingertips where I can just go and look shit up.
I would love that. One day we'll get there.
Come on, man. Kolchak
One
just
day.
killed Phil Silvers. And you guys are babbling.
Gamadian.
So what do you want to know the name of the Hindu swastika?
You know what it is? It's the swastika.
Hacking toys.
It's
as well.
swastika.
Or a fly foot.
Hindu
No, it's
swastika.
swastika with a V instead of a W, and it means
Yeah.
all is well.
Yep. 108 symbols of
Not
Hindu
so
God.
much.
Not so much in the late 30s and early 40s.
The swastika.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
one of
that's-
108 symbols of Hindu god Vishnu.
I think they're missing a few fucking arms.
Well, I'd rather see you guys. I bet you are.
I love this interrogation scene.
It's a very early drawing of an octopus.
One more time.
All right, we have one more comment from Mr. KR Joy on our zombie episode. He wrote,
Or Miss Carrot.
he wrote, "Nice job, guys. Stayed on track with the movie. Good background info and episode highlights." So I think we're winning him over or her.
He was an old man. His
But how many episodes have they not commented on?
Well, the last few, but you know, people are busy. It's
Yeah.
holiday season. Oh, look at the cops getting tough, taking his shirt off. Why I oughta.
One of these days, Kolchak.
He was back there. I moved out of him, took him a couple pictures. And then
You see what happens when you fuck a man in the
Love
ass?
Watch Kolchak's face.
What's going on here? Police business, that's what. Are you up to it again, Prodman? Weren't you reprimanded for getting a little rough a few years ago?
Who, me?
Is that not Buffalo
You were
Bill?
just giving testimony. Tell him, Kolchak.
I love it.
Tony. No, just like the officer says.
He knows how to play Tony.
Surprised and...
He really does.
Am I out, Tony?
Yes, you're right. Now, let's see here. You are Prodman?
It takes the check and it puts it in the basket.
What's your name? Thomas. Thomas.
Oh, Lord. So the old man
He's not had a girlfriend for a
Oh,
few
no, they gave that up.
episodes.
I think once he sent Monique Malmsteen back to New York, he gave up.
And he was just trying to get to New York at the
Right.
start. And so he literally gave up.
He had enough of the women, I guess. Too busy chasing monsters.
And he doesn't drink in any of the episodes. And he doesn't sing. So he is a man without wine, women, or song.
He does go to the bar, though.
He goes to
But
the
he
bar,
doesn't
but then he
drink.
sits there and doesn't drink.
Maybe he doesn't
But
have
then-
his own television. He just goes to watch games and
Television makes
election
me drink.
results.
Oh no, election results make everybody drink. Either through joy, frustration, or joystration.
Joystration.
Yeah, that's what I call watching a really good episode of The Daily Show.
I just thought
Because it's only really good when it's depressing as fuck.
that was a position of some kind. Never mind.
What is he washing?
He's spraying. He's an exterminator. He's spraying bug spray.
Can do wonders. But 1 minute? I think you're getting into the piranha category. It just don't
Who needs such a tiny bench? How few friends do you need to have before that bench becomes an option?
That's for you and your imagination.
Let's go to IKEA, darling, and buy one seat.
So let's see. We have Silvers, Rubin, and Vigran in this cast, and then other shows. The Mirthful Parade of Kolchak guest stars was Scatman Scruthers, Mary Wicks, Dick Van Patten, Jan Murray, Larry Storch, Dick Gautier, Bob Hastings, Alice Ghostley, Marvin Kaplan, Pat Harrington, Jamie Farr, Jim Backus, Jesse White, and Jackie Vernon. So you can see they love to cast the comedy guys.
You didn't mention Eric Estrada. Guess he's not a comedy guy.
He's not really a comedy guy.
Well, he is now, but that's not his.
Yeah, now he's a
It's
joke.
not his fault.
All right. Do you guys know who this guy is?
He looks so familiar.
His name is Barry Gordon.
Is he the guy that drives the limousine in Spinal Tap?
No, that's Bruno Kirby.
Yeah. He was on
Yeah.
Archie Bunker's place. And he was
Yeah, I
also...
thought he looked like a
Never.
sweat hog.
he looks like Horseshack, but that's not him. He was also a voice of Donatello in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was
Oh,
in
that's
two
where I
episodes
recognize him.
of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Day of the Bullet, and The Contest of Aaron Gold. Don't know if you guys know those episodes.
Sound like
Well-
shitty pick and paw movies from the latter part of his career.
The restaurant is named after the Hindu goddess of wealth and prosperity.
Nice. Good job.
Well, wealth, fortune, and prosperity.
I saw him talking to one of these old neighborhood guys.
You are a fountain of misinformation, Gill.
He doesn't ever see any of his friends or relatives hanging around at night.
Quoted by the late great Gorilla Monsoon.
So you know what the boss says? The boss says it doesn't make any difference if they're dead or not.
I actually really like this scene. I like the interaction between these two.
Yeah.
Especially when you
Yeah.
realize that it just comes down to they're talking about diarrhea.
Right?
Yeah.
Rakaka,
And then he
rakaka.
presents him with the plates. And you're like,
Oh,
shit.
no.
The only thing he's ever talked to me about
Yeah.
is to wash my hands before I serve the food to people.
Why?
But then that's kind of odd. when
Why? Why wash my hands? I mean, the questions.
The curry's getting to you already, huh? It's
when you consider how kind of almost this episode's a bit weird that way, where it treads this kind of this stuff about it is PC, this stuff about it is definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, like, when this showed, if they really got a lot of complaints about the SWAT stickers being everywhere, and, like, it doesn't say anything about it, you know, the research I'm looking, but they must have got a lot of complaints, I would think, right? Because people didn't understand until, you know, they explain it later in the show, but at the
How
time...
about the fact? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. At the time,
I was gonna
you know,
say. You talk. You talk that, I'll talk.
I was just gonna say, at the time, people didn't, really like. We've seen this episode hundreds of times or whatever, so we know what's going on. But when it first aired,
I've seen it once.
when it first aired, nobody knew what the hell was happening. Go ahead.
I just figure this is an episode that's obviously coming on during the Hanukkah season, and there are swastikas everywhere, and a creature that hunts down Jews. I don't understand how the hell this made it to air.
And it turned out to be the best episode of the series.
Exactly.
We really showed our hand on that, but all right. So this dude coming up, the old man here, his name is Abraham Sofair. He was in the Mighty Casey episode of The Twilight Zone, and he was also in Robert Bloch's Change of Heart episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and the classic Charlie X episode of Star Trek. He was born in 1896, and he made his London debut in 1921, and his film debut in Dreyfus in 1931. So he's definitely a veteran character actor.
That swastika there was the wrong way around. The biggest one.
So by the time...
There's a few of them there.
So by the time he made this episode, he was, what, 97, 98?
Yeah, pretty old.
I'm just going to come up with the reason why he's so lousy with this crossbow.
Well, he's pretending like he's dying too, so...
I kind of figured that the reason that the creature was killing people was because he was so old and dying.
Yeah, if he made his debut in 1921, this show was what, 74?
See if this had been made in the
53 years right there, and I don't know how old he was when he made his debut, but you got to figure at least 18, right?
Yeah.
So he's like 70, at least 70 plus in this show.
No, if this had been made in the UK, it'd still be bloody on.
No, but if,
Doctor Who, right?
Yeah.
No, if they'd made this in the UK, then his character would be played by a veteran actor,
Christopher Lee,
who'd be white but wearing boot polish.
Yeah.
Like, even when I was a kid, like in the fucking early 80s, we still had, like, there was, I don't know if it ever made it to America. I hope the fuck it didn't, but there was like a sitcom about like the war in India.
Petrocelli?
Where yeah, it was Petrocelli. But like the only people you'd see in it would be white actors wearing boot polish, pretty much.
Well, I don't think that ever made it here.
David Suchet's got to act somewhere, right?
Well, fucking Ben Kingsley is Gandhi.
That's true. An Oscar for it.
Yeah.
Crossbow and swastikas, and he lives in Roosevelt Heights?
Listen, I've been doing a little reading. Apparently,
Here we
the
go.
Nazis did not invent the swastika. It's a Hindu sign. It's very old, used to ward off evil spirits.
Yeah, I don't remember that sitcom about.
Evil spirits.
What was it called?
Only Gill.
It had.
Sounds like a series of Blackadder.
Yeah, Hogan's Heroes. I see nothing.
You know, Ron, in your own quiet way.
It had like Melvin Hayes and actors like that in it. It ain't half hot, Mum. That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's vaping again. It was written by the classic BBC sitcom duo of Croft and Perry.
Oh, Croft and Perry. Why didn't you say that before?
Yeah, the guys that made Dad's Army.
Yeah, I know who those guys are.
Good lord.
Yeah, they made They made
Croft
like
and Perry. Holy crap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Set in India and Burma during the last months of the Second World War. And well, if you're familiar in any way with Melvin Hayes, then you'll understand that there was also some dodgy humour of the camp variety
They
as
were
well.
only outdone by Seals and Croft. Sorry. All right, here's the scene we were talking about earlier. The two cops.
One cop who doesn't have a watch.
Yeah. Can you
He's a
imagine?
loose cannon.
And also,
A cop on the edge with no
continual-
personal timepiece.
You know why he was yawning there? Because he never knows when he's meant to finish. He's continually overworking
Right.
himself by mistake.
He has no time left for you.
Look at that lens flare. Was this directed by J.J. Abrams?
You can see the headlight shining in the lens. The lens. Look, I saw something down
We
there.
record these late at night.
That's my mother.
I saw somebody run into that alley.
Where? Down there?
Yeah, he saw
Don't
something.
see a thing.
He's a good cop. Of course he saw something.
All right, you win. I'll take a look.
Look at those lovely cars from the day.
You know why he's always checking everything out? Because you ain't got no damn watch.
I'm driving all night long.
You know that one of those cars technically had a #1 hit in the UK.
Hey, you in there? What you doing in there?
Hey, you
Come
in
on,
Are
sing.
you gonna explain that one, Gil? There's a punchline there.
There actually isn't a punchline. The KLF, when they brought out, when they brought out Doctor in the TARDIS, which was basically a mashup of Gary Glitter and Doctor
Right.
Who, they credited it all to the car. So it had #1.
All right.
That is hilarious.
It was called Ford Perfect, I think.
So, Gil, your explanation from earlier was she called out who she saw first. And now the cop just said it was Officer DeVito, and the guy said, no, it's my mother. So that explanation you gave didn't work.
Well, fuck you.
Just saying.
But now he's seeing Officer DeVito.
Yeah.
He's going.
They were standing
"Hey,
next to each other saying,
but-
that was
yeah,
DeVito, that
stay
was my
back."
mother.
Sorry, sister. Just stay back. Don't come down. Don't come any closer. Don't come any closer. Sorry, don't come
I
any
shot them
closer.
6 times. 7 times if you watch the sequel.
That's Paul Sorvino's little-known brother Ricky.
This is one of my most.
There's always one of these guys in every show too. You notice that?
Yeah.
Is that the same guy from the
3rd century.
the,
goddess Kali
jewelry episode?
Death clock.
I always
Sorry.
like to say,
I saw
No,
a
it's not
death
the same
clock.
guy,
and-
but he acts just like him.
cult of Kali flowered.
You from the Hoboken Kolchaks?
Death clock. I can't buy a death clock now.
I'll be with
It's
you.
quite sad.
You can't buy a what?
That style of clock. See the gold on it. It was all done by hand, and the people that made them, they painted it on, and this was before people fully understood chemistry. So they used to lick the brushes and keep painting. So the people that made these clocks had quite a high mortality rate and didn't understand why. So they became known as death clocks because the people that made those clocks died.
All right, so we have one more comment on our there have been, they are, they will be episode from this same person.
Oh, that
Mr.
was a
KR
rough
Joy.
episode.
Exactly. And he wrote, again, nice job at one of the weakest episodes of the whole series. And yeah, we agree with that. Story and characters are great. My beef with this episode, the mysterious force never makes a proper appearance. Keep up the great work. You're moving right along. Sorrow, yeah, there are quite a few episodes where the monster stays in the shadows, all because of the budget restraints, of course. And so yeah, we appreciate
If only
feedback.
I'd read that comment beforehand, I could have then played Moving Right Along by Dr. Teeth and the Electric
That was the
Mayhem.
first thing that went through my mind.
Yep.
You two are just
I
like
really
two
hope
peas
that
in a
we're
pod.
now being commented on by a Muppets fan.
Well,
You two are
Great
just
show,
two peas
except
in a
for the
pod.
great show, except for you didn't mention that great song from the Muppet movie.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Dun, 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 dun.
I like that bit where Kolchak was nearly caught by the bad guy and then got away when he was halfway down the stairs.
So
I
we
like-
appreciate your comments, even though Gil's being a fanny right now. We
No,
appreciate your
I'm not-
comments. Please,
I really
please
appreciate
comment on
comments.
our other episodes 6, 7, and 8 that you haven't gotten to yet. We appreciate the feedback, and
No, see, that's
we
been
we do. We appreciate the feedback, and we like to know.
comment
we like
on the
to know
episodes
that
you
you're
want to
enjoying our
comment
show
on,
or
not the ones that Newty expects you to
So
comment
just
on.
ignore Gill and comment some more. Thank you. And anybody else that's watching
Ignore
our shows,
Newty and
you can
comment as
as well.
much as you want. Don't feel under any pressure.
So that's all the back shots are after. Eating
Moving right along.
Yes. We're moving right along.
Of course, Dr. Teeth was based on the incredible Dr. John.
Drifted into a timeless
I think we're going to cancel this show, just like Kolchak was canceled. We are canceling it after this episode, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to
doesn't
start a
matter, Newty,
Kickstarter program, then maybe we'll come back. But right now we're canceled.
Yeah, I'll start a Kickstarter
been a
program.
good run.
If somebody goes round and kicks Newty, we'll do another episode.
Mistrust, decadence, moral decline. See, in other
A
words,
Kickstarter? Seriously, you think you're Zach Braff?
now you really must.
What kind of perks are we offering for this Kickstarter?
Oh, you get to hear
Kicking
the
Newty?
one of Gill's long-winded stories.
No, the perk
No.
is you get
Signed to
you
straw
get the
hats.
first-
Listening to Gill go no and yes every week. Come on, that's priceless.
No, you get the unbroadcast first
Oh, yes.
episode.
I love that. Yes, he just drives everybody crazy.
Yes.
Yes, we keep talking about this episode that was unheard of right now. It is the master episode where Gill was so drunk he forgot he recorded an episode.
It's not even a lie.
Literally the next day, he's like, "Can we do
it's-
this again? Because I do not remember even recording the show."
I haven't even listened back to it. It's like, see when you wake up one day and you're like, even you look down at your feet and each individual toe is staring at you like, you did what?
It's gonna be
And you're going, I don't
DVD
know.
release. We gotta send more money to Dewey Cox.
That's always a good idea.
Well, Dewey Cox gets paid for every episode of this, which I have absolutely no problem with.
Should be going to the McGavin Tribute Fund. That's where it should go. Wait, we're missing
To be
a great
fair,
fight.
so many people watch this on YouTube. I mean, if we sent them a stamp, it would cover it.
Scuttlebutt.
The scuttlebutt is. The rumor is he saw Sergeant Ernest DeVito, a guy who's been a father figure to him all of his life, and DeVito was sick
Now.
because of the coronary.
It is a shame that they didn't keep Phil Silvers about longer in this episode.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
kind of wonder why he took that role.
They wasted it.
He didn't get to launch a wacky get-rich scheme or anything.
Hogan. Uh-oh. Pissed off the little bird lady.
Miss Emily's all riled.
I've never actually seen the modern version of Bilko.
What, the Steve Martin version?
Yeah,
it's-
but I've also never seen the modern version of the Pink Panther.
Yeah, that's fine too.
I just keep thinking, like, how many beloved characters from my childhood can Steve Martin dig up and fuck in the face right in front
Yeah,
of me?
he's got this tendency to like find things that we love and then just poop on them. Just poop on the graves of things that we love.
Yep. I mean, even you know how like he plays the banjo?
Yeah.
I still think that's him saying "fuck you" to Kermit the Frog.
She's the mystery girl in there again.
The one that nobody knows what she does.
They always show her backside or whatever. They never show her face.
You only
'cause she's
call her the
fuck
mystery
ugly.
girl because
Yeah,
you
I
want
wish we
someone
didn't
to
get to
tell
see
you
Gill's
who she
face
is.
every week.
You don't.
Yes, so every time I sign on to Skype, there's your face.
But every time you sign onto your computer, there's my face. Your desktop
Yeah, you're my
wallpaper.
wallpaper.
Sounds like a Taylor Swift song.
Sounded vaguely threatening. Yeah, you're my wallpaper.
It sounds like what Steve Martin does when he starts to write another script based on something that
Steve
people
Martin again.
previously loved. Just
Wait,
I'm now
wait.
thinking
Yoda's
that-
dying.
We went back to Steve Martin, huh?
He's Yoda from The Walking Dead, though.
Great Brahma, creator of all creatures,
The great Vishnu.
I
Oh
commend
boy.
my unworthy soul.
Yeah. Don't
You know,
shoot.
you know, Gandhi got his own movie and everybody loves him. Nehru didn't get anything but like a jacket. So maybe this is like Nehru's deathbed scene.
You apologize for last night.
Yes.
I thought you were the Rakshasa. Yes, I'm sorry. I never thought
I love this little speech.
My eyes don't serve me.
I never thought
My
I'd be
hands
old.
betray me, and my courage.
My eyes are weak, my knees are dim.
That is why I finally...
Parashara Malim.
Oh, you're very ill.
Hold on, we haven't eaten yet. Oh, sorry, you haven't given us a chance to hide yet. Were you thinking nobody will get that reference? But no, I watched Life of Brian like every day.
Oh, I figured
for
if
about
if anybody would get it, it
decades.
would be you.
That's a shocker that you watch that every day.
Oh, I absolutely loved it.
I'm not surprised.
I still watch the old Flying Circus episodes.
My favorite is It's All in the Mind. I love the looping in that episode. I think it's incredible. Just watching Michael Palin go more and more insane. But then you think Michael Palin just looks like he's the nicest man in the world.
Yeah, and then he keeps getting on and off the damn milk truck.
But then when I was a kid, my dad was on the local council, and they had to watch Life of Brian to decide whether or not it would be allowed to be screened within the Glasgow city limits.
Yeah?
And he said everybody that was in that one-off screening just for them thought it was absolutely hilarious. But it still didn't get passed.
Fucking hell.
Like he was like, yeah, that should be shown, but so many other people were like, well, no, I found it funny, but what if other people don't find it? It was basically people afraid of,
Oh, yeah.
campaigns against them. Like, oh, they passed this film.
Shoot.
You know what? That's good advice, just on a general level. Shoot, or your flesh will be ripped apart. Don't be fooled.
You must trust somebody.
Ripped as if I'm bad dog.
Hopefully people will like that I do not try the accent.
No, because you
I'll
can't.
just leave that to the two
You
of
already
you.
have a shitty accent.
Fuck you.
This monster will rip your cock off. He just walks. All right, crazy guy. Whatever.
I'm not even sure what Newty's accent is. Like, it's just so generic, isn't it? I mean, you can't even tell where he comes from.
That's good.
He doesn't have a real
That's
severe
good.
Southern
Like
accent.
you're a spy.
I've been practicing my dialect-free vocabulary talking.
Yeah. You tell him, Gill.
I don't use a dialect. Apart from when I do.
Who's eating Pop Rocks? What the fuck?
Good goal.
I thought he was shaking a fucking rain stick.
That's funny. You caught it. That's awesome. Who's eating Pop Rocks?
I like how Kolchak just nonchalantly shoves the blessed arrows into his jacket. Just,
Yeah.
He's only gonna need one.
just right here next to my wallet. That's fine. I won't trip or anything.
He's Jack. He never needs more than one shot.
Stop, don't you come nearer.
This is what got me about this episode.
Is that it was Miss Emily?
Yep.
Emily?
Yeah, because really it should have been Tony.
It'll be daylight by the time she gets near him.
Emily, what are you doing here?
Oh, this is where they blew it.
You answer me.
She talked.
Well, I just
Yeah.
had to follow you.
He didn't talk at all, but to the other people.
But see, if it had been Tony instead of Emily, then it would have proven my theory about their relationship during the course of the series.
If you don't stop right there,
That's true.
I'm gonna have to shoot you.
It's the only thing I don't agree about in the episode is her talking.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big thing for me too, though. Monsters should not talk,
Right.
especially not English. You know.
Well, like Frankenstein.
I think that was a bad idea. I don't.
He was only muted in the films. He talked in the original.
Oh, I know he did very eloquently, and that's kind of when I
Yeah.
was like,
With a pillow.
I thought that was part of the
yeah,
horror.
that's really bad
Was the fact
setting right
that-
there. Oh God, you shot me in the square.
No, I mean with Frankenstein, I thought that part of the horror of Frankenstein was even though he was this hideous, grotesque visage, that he fully understood what was going on, resented that. So
Well, yeah, but I mean,
it always annoyed me that most of the films Frankenstein's a mute. It gives him more emotion.
see, I'd rather he were a mute. But then again, you know, look at look at where we are in history and Stephen Hawking and shit. So
What's the difference? As long as we all trust each other, why should anyone?
I know he has a machine.
You said Stephen Hawking is the modern Frankenstein.
Yeah, well, he has a machine that talks for him. He doesn't actually, you know, speak.
Right, so I would sit next to Stephen Hawking and leave him plugged in.
Yeah.
You turn the volume down.
Well, if I couldn't get to him with fire or a pitchfork, I guess so.
I don't think he's a particularly speedy character, so if you can't get
The
to him,
speaking spell might weigh him down.
Yes, Mr. Cartwright.
All I'm saying is it's like the Frankenstein monster because he's very intelligent, very eloquent, but probably shouldn't be talking. Write those books. Those are good books, but, you know, at least I got them on a Pink Floyd album, so I guess I shouldn't complain.
I saw a really good version of Frankenstein last year that sadly isn't available in most places because it was the National Theatre got Danny Boyle, who
I remember hearing about
directed Trainspotting,
I remember hearing about that.
come up with a version. It was the music for it was done by Underworld, and the roles alternated each night for Victor and the creature between Johnny Lee Miller and Benedict Cumberbatch. So it was Sherlock on Sherlock Frankenstein.
Wow.
Nice.
By the way, the episode
Yes.
ended. I don't know if y'all
Yeah, I
noticed
was
that.
just letting
Yeah.
them go on whatever. Because, you know, can't interrupt them. You can only hope to contain them. You can't stop them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Short
So,
bursts,
See when
suppressing fire.
we finish doing when we finish doing this series, I'm just gonna like walk along a road slowly late at night while a piano plays a very sad tune.
we're just going to do a show at the end where Gill just rants for an hour on any kind of subject. It starts about guitars and ends on blowjobs in England. And then people be like, I love Gill's 6-hour rants. Let's do more. All right. Anyway.
I'm in
Anyway.
Scotland.
Yes, right. Scotland. Sorry. But you're under England's thumb. You know it. So you go to England all the time. So you gotta pay homage. You gotta pay homage to the queen. Anyway, the episode's over. What do you?
You think it's like the fucking nativity? Like
What do
every
you
year
think
we
of the
have
show,
to
Gil?
go down. It is my favorite episode so far.
Any complaints?
Not enough Phil Silvers.
All right.
I think he should have had a bigger role.
So did we decide to rate this show or not? I don't remember. Did we rate them or we just say we like them or not?
Rate it if you want.
What are you rating it?
I'd probably give this one an 8.
All right, cool. And Mr. X?
Yeah, this is the best episode we've seen so far. I agree with Gil. Not enough Phil Silvers, and really for this, for such a weird subject matter, about killing Jews around Hanukkah. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we're using the 1 to 10 scale, which I guess we are, because if it's a 1 to 5 and Gil said an 8, then we know.
Yeah, he really loved it.
Yeah, we know how
Really
we know
liked
how
it.
drunk Gil is on the scale of 1 to Ric Flair. So,
woo!
I'll give it a 4.
Sweet.
Someone
4 out
doing
of
a
10?
hookah in the
Giving
background.
it a 4 out of 10.
No, damn, a 4 out of 5, which would
okay.
be an 8 out of 10.
All right, wonderful.
There's maths.
I love this episode too. Like I said, I really believe it's the best one of the series. But there are some good ones coming up, so we're not like shit out of luck as the rest of our shows go. I got 2 complaints with the episode. One we already talked about was Miss Emily, the monster / talking at the end there, which they didn't show that at all in the whole episode. So I think it kind of ruined that moment. But I guess I can see where they're coming from because they wanted to try to trick Carl or whatever. But the other complaint was at the very end. Excuse me, when he kills the creature.
Getting a bit emotional.
No, when
there.
he kills the creature, usually on the other episodes, when he's taking pictures or whatnot, his camera gets broken or the creature disappears in a burst of light or cloud or smoke, whatever. This creature, he killed it. It fell down. That was it. He didn't take pictures. He didn't it just cut away to him talking at his desk. So you would assume he took pictures and it got published, right? So this would technically be the first monster that he actually got pictures of and it got to appear because they didn't take the time to show the monster disappearing. But that's my only complaint.
Maybe the prop guys couldn't find the carpet that they were using as the monster.
Yeah, I was just assuming that the same shit that happens every time happened.
Yeah, they
again.
just didn't bother showing it this time around.
That monsters can't be photographed.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't even see him attempting to photograph it.
He didn't, and that's his first thing he always does. And even before he tries to kill it, he tries to take a picture of the damn thing.
Yeah, it's usually the first thing he does in the episode.
Yeah.
Runs up towards something superstitious and takes a picture of it and then goes, this didn't come out.
Or his camera gets smashed. So that's really the only 2
Yeah.
complaints with the episode. Other than that, it's a really good episode. It's like you guys said earlier, it's got some pretty serious subject matter for its day. And yeah, good stuff. All right. So I guess that rocks the end. Do you have anything else to say before we go? No. Okay.
San Dimas High School football rules.
Until we meet again, we will be
guilty as charged.